Hey guys, Godzilla here, and I'm bringing you another video. So I actually decided to make a very different type of video, and this is gonna be part 1 of 2 of tier listing. So this is the first video in which I'll be tiering each of the Save the Earth characters. I'm not too familiar with the competitive scene for Save the Earth. However, I do have a lot of experience with the game. If you see my, if you've been following me for a while, ever since 2018. So, let's get right to that, shall we? And by the way, that was a bad snap. Anyway, so basically, I have ordered the characters in the way you would unlock them. So basically, I've put all the ones, like the 6 that you start out with, and then the ones that you unlock. So if you look here, then I have them each like in order. So this is gonna be unscripted because basically I like to give out my thoughts, like personal thoughts. Keep in mind, this is just my opinion, and this is just how I play the characters. But I mean, if you have a different opinion, that's fine. But to be perfectly honest with you, like that's just how I this is just how I play the characters, and don't feel bad because there are just some characters that I don't play good against, or play as, I should say. So then, let's begin. We're gonna be starting off with Godzilla here. I would put Godzilla or Godzilla 2000 as a solid A tier. I mean, he's a basic character, he's supposed to be good. Nothing really else to say. He is a fast character though, like, he's not the fastest, but at least he can get off moves really fast, and his beam is one of the stronger ones, if I could be truthful. Anguirus, putting him in D tier. It's just really clunky. Like, he's just a really clunky character to like try to master. Like, yeah, he could be spammy, but there are just other characters that are just competitively better than him. And like, yeah, sure, the Sonic Roar is good for like stunning your opponent, but honestly, there's just other like characters that are just better competitively. And then Fire Rodan. I'm kind of I want to put him in C tier, but on my personal experience, I'm gonna put him in B tier. I would put him in A tier if I had to go like straight up personal, because I just love playing as him. But he's in B tier because he's a really good like speedy character to play as. Like the AB, like I just played the PlayStation, so if you play the Xbox, then sorry, but the AB attacks, they're so strong. Sometimes they can stun your opponent, and that's how you get like pretty much like a hit almost every single time. Like, you could block them, yeah, but it'll become too much for you to block. And the beam is also like it can reach a lot. Like, it's really strong too against threats like Orga and Mechagodzilla. Those are like key opponents that he can beat. Godzilla 90s. He is an S tier. I put him in here because he's stronger than 2000, maybe a little bit faster too. And it's also because his rage attack is just so strong. Not many can withstand it, unless you're like Megalon or Mecha Dora, who can just absorb it. But like, other than that, or maybe destroy it too, because he is atomic resistant. But yeah, Godzilla 90s, he's actually a really good character. He's really stepped it up from the last game. So very good for Godzilla 90s. Gigan. I want to put him in A or S. I kind of want to put him in A. I think A is actually a good place for him. I don't think he is an overpowered character, but he's definitely strong. I think he's definitely like the highest A tier, or one of the highest, just because of his buzzsaw attack. Like, if you're on the ground and if you could get the buzzsaw on them, you could take out nearly half of their health in like in like a split second. So with Gigan, you can take away a lot of health, but you do have to be careful. physical attacks are definitely not his strong suit. Well, taking them at least. But but he's really bulky when it comes to beams. So definitely look for Gigan, or just look out for him because using the beams is not going to be too effective unless you're using weakness of his. But most of the beams are actually like not that strong against him, and that makes him a really good character to use. Megalon. He was definitely improved in destroying monsters. And by the way, I'm not gonna do destroying monsters. I just don't have enough information about it competitively. If you want to, if somebody wants to make a video on that, definitely do it because I'm interested. But Megalon, I feel like, was definitely improved, but he is going in. I think I may want to put him in C tier. He's definitely strong. Like, that's the thing. He's so strong. He has enough weapons to make himself a decent monster to play as. It's just a defense that is just so garbage. Like, his physical defense is just so garbage. Like, the beam, it's okay. Like, it's about, like, as good as Godzilla. But his physical defense is just so paper thin. It's almost as weak as Rodan. And that's kind of bad, if I can be truthful. Like, keep in mind, he is so strong with his utility. It's just that I wish that his paper defense... And keep in mind, like, if you're one-on-one, like, if it's Megalon versus Megalon, if the Megalon uses, like, when he jumps and then, like, drills, if you just keep on doing that, it's game over. Just because of the very paper-thin defense. That just makes Megalon just so easy to take advantage of. And it's kind of an asset, if I can be truthful. The reason I put him over Anguirus is because, well, for one, the utility, and for two, his strength, because he's actually really good against ones like Orga, for example. Well, it's kind of a 50-50 situation with Orga, but you could definitely change the tide with other monsters. So, yeah, so that's why I put Megalon as C tier, because he's good, but he's not that good. King Ghidorah. He is an S tier. King Ghidorah definitely improved from the destroying all monsters. He's bulkier, he is stronger, but he's a little bit slower. So, King Ghidorah here is such a bulky monster, it makes him separate himself from Mecha King Ghidorah, which I'll talk about later. But he is so bulky and so strong, it makes him a perfect monster for competitive play. Like in tournaments, I've seen in tournaments that he is just such a good monster, and I've seen like matchups with Orga that basically I see matchups with Orga, and it's very down to the wire, and it just shows that you can make little changes to a character, and it basically improves them. Like right here with King Ghidorah, it improves them so much, and I really like that. I like the fact that Save the Earth changed the monsters a lot. So King Ghidorah, a competitive beast, and I've seen so many players like use it. It's strong. Definitely try it if you want to get into competitive. Alright, so next up is Mechagodzilla 2. Oh, man. This one really fell down hard. Okay, so on Destroying All Monsters, he was a great monster. Again, I don't know too much, but I know at least a little bit. Just a little bit. But Mechagodzilla 2, I know for a fact, probably would have been a competitive beast because of just how defensive and bulky he is. And just strong, too. In this game, he is downgraded severely, and it's hard. But that doesn't stop him from making a not too bad monster. Like, I've seen, like, players use him pretty well, and he can honestly, like, change the tide of a match if you really play well. So I'm actually going to put him in B tier. I don't think he's A tier material because, well, for one, like, Godzilla just has the speed, and Gigan has the strength. He's not A tier, but I think he's definitely B tier. At least high B tier. Destroya. A lot of people think he's great in melee. I personally don't think so. Even if you watched my videos like back then. But honestly, in Damn, like in Destroy All Monsters, I actually didn't like playing as him that much. In this game though, I actually really do. I'm gonna put him as an A tier, probably high A tier, because I think Destroyer did really well in this one. And like, a lot of the mines or whatever you call them, they're actually pretty strong. Like, you could send multiple at a time to basically entrap your opponent from escaping. And he can counter the Godzillas. He can counter Space Godzilla too, to an extent, if he's using weapons. And he can really devour a lot of the tier, if it wasn't for the fact that his physical defense is not the best. Like, that's why Godzilla's, like, they can at least take advantage of that, as well as Gigan. Gigan versus Destroy is a really tough matchup. It usually falls into Gigan's favor because of the beam resistance. It's just that good. So Destroy, he's good, but I feel like the other monsters, they just outclass him. Mechagodzilla. I love Mechagodzilla, but it's F tier. I'm sorry, but okay. I've seen a player use Mechagodzilla so well, I just can't do it. Now, the reason I don't think Mechagodzilla is that good is because, for one thing, like monsters like Orga just completely stomp on her, and she's very physical, like, oriented, and I feel like Anguirus is just a step better, just because of the defense and the Sonic Roar. Mechagodzilla, honestly, I really can't get into it. Like, I just can't get into this beam stealing, like, sort of thing, and I mainly just use, like, physical attacks with her. Maybe like a big blast. I just call it big blast because, or I just call it like focus blast. I don't know. You decide. But other than her rage, her physical attacks are the only way of like getting some real damage in. And you could steal the energy too if you wanted. It's a good counter for Space Godzilla, but other than that, there's nothing else that it can really do. Like I don't know, like, Mechagodzilla just isn't that good in the competitive scene. Orga devours her, the Godzillas can just beam spam her to death, so can Space Godzilla. Really, there's nothing else that Mechagodzilla can really do. So that's why I put her in F tier, because competitively, I'm sorry, but she sucks. Orga. We were just talking about it. S tier. Straight up S tier. He was good in Damn, Destroy All Monsters. He is better here. He is faster, he has more utility, and he can beat a lot of the monsters that are in this game. Like Mecha Dora, that's like a common like a monster to pit up against, but sometimes like the match can change like either way. And it's just so fun to see, like, Orga. Like, Orga is what Mechagodzilla should have been. Should have had excellent physical attacks. Excuse me. Great weaponry. And have good bulk. Mechagodzilla just has speed, and that's it. Like, even her physical attack's a little bit meddling. And even, like, her like, quick, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I guess Berserk mode? I don't know. But her fast mode it's just not good enough, I feel. Like, it's just not good enough for her to just have that extra power on her. And that's why I think Orga is just such a better, like, pick if you just want to have a physical attacker. So, really, like, Orga is obviously the strongest physical monster and just has better utility. Mecha Dora, also S tier. I put both of the Ghidorahs on here, and some people would say that regular is better. I think they're tied. Because, okay, regular King Ghidorah is bulkier, is stronger, but it's slower. Mechagodzilla is a little bit weaker in both attacks and defense, but at the same time is better in weaponry and is faster. So that's why I say that Mecha and King Ghidorah, they're basically like on the same league. Because you have power with regular, but you have better speed and utility with Mecha Ghidorah. Tasers, like I think the only one that can like resist it sort of is Mogira. Like Megalon can eat it up for sure, but it still stuns him. That's the problem. And Mecha Ghidorah is just so fast with the physical attacks, it's ridiculous. And like the Rage Anguirus, if you make one wrong move or the wrong move with Anguirus, you're dead. That's basically it. You're freaking dead with Anguirus if you make the wrong move with Mecha Ghidorah. Because the Rage for Mecha Ghidorah invincibility allows you to not only like take no damage, but you also like do damage to the opponent if they attack you. And like keep in mind, like I showed a video of Mecha Ghidorah basically going in and taking some like rages that use energy attacks, and he can eat them up for breakfast. That's why I think Mecha Ghidorah is such a good monster, is that it has the best utility, one of the best utilities of any monster. The shield is just such a good thing, and its speed boost is also so good too. I think Mecha Ghidorah is definitely a great monster. Alright, so then, continuing on, we have Barragan. Okay. I'm gonna tread on thin ice a little bit because, well, not really, but basically Barragan is kind of a staple in G-Fest. The reason I say that is because one player, I don't know if he still goes or not, I'm not gonna say the name for privacy reasons, but the guy uses Barragan so well, I don't think anyone can really like match it. Kind of like how I do with one character, and I'll get to it. So Barragan, I'm gonna put in B tier. I put in B tier because he's definitely fast. Like he's definitely a fast character. He has great physical attacks. He has good speed, and his breath, my god, is devastating and annoying. Like he can just get up and use his breath, and oh my god, it's annoying. And his rage attack is also not too bad either. If the opponent doesn't get away, but I digress. But Barragan's a great player. I think if it wasn't for the fact that there are just better monsters in general. So I really want to put it in A tier, but I just don't think it's just, I don't think it can like have that sort of play like Godzilla, Gigan, or Destroya would. That's just my thing. I think it would be first place in a B tier. That's for sure. Mothra. Again, a lot of people think that Mothra is a great character. Like, I don't know. But I'm gonna put in C tier. Like, okay, here's my thing about Mothra. Yes, you get 2 life bars, but that's it. That's really all you get. Like, maybe it's a good thing, and maybe it's like, I kind of want to say it's a good thing, but it's kind of a bad thing too, because I mean, unless you're really good with Mothra, then props to you, but I could just never get into Mothra. Because the controls for her are just so wonky. Like, I feel like the only spammable like move you can use is that like when she flies up in the air, like she flies up and then just slams her body down. I feel like that's the only spammable move, but other than that, like just nothing else that's really good. And the controls again are just not really wonky. I just can't get into it. Um, the larva's better, that's all I can say. Being able to stun your opponent to death. But other than that, like, but the CPU is freaking annoying for her, I swear. But anyway, but Mothra, I feel like she's okay, but she's just kind of like Megalon. I think the utility is there, but I think the problem with her is that it's just that the controls just really step her down a lot. I feel. Kiryu or Mechagodzilla 3, if you want to be. If you want to go with the game name. Mechagodzilla 3, I'm actually gonna put in A tier. I think out of all the A tiers, I think Mechagodzilla 3 would be at the top because Kiryu is just that it's just that good. Like, you can really put like, okay, for one thing, the missiles are so much better than Mechagodzilla Heisei's. Like, it's literally like a missile storm, and it's kind of funny because I think if you use like 2 or all of them, you can literally just like slow down and lag the game. It's hilarious sometimes, but Kiryu is actually a really good monster, I think, in competitive. Like, the missile storm can really mess you up if you're using a grab or something, and the grapple's okay. But I do think like just the amount of speed he has and amount of like defense, it complements it, and the tail attacks too are also really good too. They can get opponents from the air, and it's just overall just really good, I feel like. And again, just like the utility, like, it's there with Kiryu in the physical attacks too. So I think Kiryu can definitely be a really good monster. It's just that I feel like these guys up here, they're just either bulkier or stronger. Mogira. Kind of like a Barragan, I've seen a player that can really do well with him. I'm going to respect it because, man. So I'm going to put an A tier, not S tier, because, I mean, really, like, you had to be skilled to use Mogira, I feel. This guy is the best utility by far. Because, like, I mean, like, you can really mess people up with Mogira if you're skilled, but... Excuse me, my bad. But again, you have to be really skilled, and the physical attacks, they... Unfortunately, you had to, like, really, like, use your brain with them, because the physical attacks can either be garbage, or they could be really strong. I think I tried it at one time, and it failed completely, because I have no idea how to play as him. Like, I've played as him before, but it's just that I can't really decide, like, how I want to play him sometimes, so that's just me. I think he could be a really good, competitive, monster, if he was a little bit, easier to control. That's just how I feel. Alright, and now, Jet Jaguar. Like in Gears, he's a fan favorite, but unfortunately fan favorites are not a thing for competitive. Like, sure, they could be like fan favorites that are really good, but fan favorite, like, just being a favorite of fans, like Vanilla, for example, they're not going to be competitive monsters right out of the get-go, quite literally. But Jet Jaguar, I feel like he's B tier, if I could be honest with you. Like, I feel like he has really good physical attacks. The beam's okay, but there is a reason I'm putting him in B tier. If you went to G-Fest and you have 4 Jet Jaguars, have fun with it. That's all I'm gonna say. Again, if you've been to G-Fest and if you've been in the Mecha G arcade and you have a 4-way jet in a box ring, all I gotta say is it's a really good treat. But again, like, I think competitively to Jaguars, he's okay. I feel like you can definitely use him, in situations. But yeah, for the most part, I think the Jaguar is okay. Okay, and finally, the last monster, Space Godzilla. Now, you notice that SS tier is just barren. Like, why do I have it on here? There's nothing there. Come on. If you figured it out already, even S tier, like, these guys definitely can't handle, like, the upper tier. Like, I feel like if you're skilled, you can use Mega Gears. And Gears can be spammable. Megalon and Mothra are not too bad. I thought I heard my Wii like blow up or something. You can definitely use Megalon and Mothra. These guys you can definitely use pretty well. A tier is really easy. And in S, these guys are just competitively good. But none of these guys were banned for a little bit. Not like Space Godzilla. SS tier. I've heard from Deadzilla, who is, by the way, best Godzilla YouTuber. If you're watching this, thank you for giving me inspiration. But basically, Space Godzilla is the only like monster, to my knowledge, in the Mecha G arcade to have been banned. That's right, banned. Not restricted, not like not usable for player, banned. You wanna know why? You wanna know why I think that? The grapple. Like, okay, let me just break it down for you. So, by himself, he's pretty terrible, right? A lot of his attacks cost energy. He's slow. His energy regeneration is not that good. His physical attacks are okay. They're pretty strong. But that's it. That's all. Like, that's the only good thing about him, right? By himself. But then when you get his crystals up, those three things that hinder him, they're gone. When you have the crystals up, you wanna know how many times you can grapple the opponent and they can't even touch you? 3. Minimum 3 times. Maybe 5 if you're lucky, but 3. That may not sound scary, but let me tell you. First one, you like throw them, right? And they fall to the ground, and I mean, they have to get up, yeah? Yeah, they have to get up? No, they don't. They don't have to get up. Heck, they don't even have to touch the ground. You can grapple them from the air. His grapple, I mean, yeah, sure, if you're jumping, like, let's say, okay, a normal monster, when you want to grapple them, all you have to do is, like, back away or jump, right? Nope, not Space Godzilla. You could just grapple them from the air, just get them with his psychic grab, and he could grab you when you're flying, when you're far away. He could get you anywhere. And if you even if you like twirl, and that gets you more energy, he can pick you back up if, again, even if you're on the ground. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're on the ground or the air. Doesn't matter. He could just get you whenever he wants. The only thing that can save you is the military. But even then, if he has enough energy, he can just pick you up again. And he doesn't even have to, like, he doesn't have to wait for you to get up. He could just grapple you. That's one thing. Just one. The grapple is that freaking powerful. You cannot block it. It's not, and It's something that the shield cannot block. You could try to struggle, but there's like a 1 point chance you'll even get out of it. You can be in the air for so long and not be able to attack for nearly 30 seconds. You may not think that's a lot of time, but in the battle, that's a lot of time for you not to be able to attack and he's just hurting you constantly. Like, think about it. If he gets 5, that's almost half of your health gone, half of the battle gone, and he can easily just kill you however he wants. And when you're on the ground, you could use like whatever's the R button. Like, I forget whether it's R1 or R2, but he can levitate towards you, and he can like use his like headbutt attack and stun you while you're down. And when you get up, you're stunned, and he can just like attack you in any sort of way. His weaponry with his crystals, not a freaking problem when he has those crystals because they charge super fast. Like his grapple, like if you do the spinning thing, that's another grapple that he can use. Like, it's ridiculous how freaking powerful Space Godzilla is in this game. Like his beam, the only one that can really like, or the only ones that can really defend against it are Destroya and Mecha Dora. That's it. Just those two can really take the beam well. Well, take the beam well or absorb it, but you get my point. His range attack's not that bad, but other than that, his physical attacks, his energy regeneration with the crystals, and the grapple make him pretty much, I would say, the strongest Atari monster in the trilogy. Not just in the game, not just compared to Save the Earth and Unleashed, in the trilogy. This guy is definitely ban worthy. If I were to hold a tournament and Save the Earth, Space Godzilla will be banned. And if you watch my videos, you can see just how powerful he is. He can either be a stall machine, he can either be just a monster when it comes to like offense. He can do nearly anything you want him to do. Keep in mind that you have to be skilled enough to do it, but basically that's what Space Godzilla is. Space Godzilla, I feel, is a god in Save the Earth. Quite literally a god. So, let me just reorder the monsters around, and then we'll take a look at the final tier list. Alright, so this is the final tier list. Mechagodzilla is like these three stay the same. Megalon I think is better than Mothra. Rodan is the bottom of the B list because I just have personal fun with him. Jet, he's second best, or second worst actually. Mechagodzilla is second best. Barragan is the best of B tier. Mogira is the bottom of the A tier because I feel like you just have to be so skilled to play as him. Destroya, kind of the bottom because these two can beat him, though he can beat ones like Mechagodzilla and Mogira, but I feel like he's just good there. Gigan, middle. Godzilla, high A tier, and then Kiryu is the highest A. Godzilla 90s, I feel like, is at the bottom because I feel like he doesn't get as much usage. Ghidorah, regular is just a little bit ahead of 90s. Mecha Dora, I feel, gets a little bit more usage, and Orga, definitely very useful. And then Space Godzilla, the best. Just the best monster. So that's it for my tier list. And I hope you really guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you got a little bit of my little bit of a competitive side, I guess. So that's it for me. See you later for the Unleashed tier list, which is more my specialty. Laters.